If you got it, then you flaunt it. The secular world has taught us this, meaning if you have riches, if you have luxury, wealth, then show it off. Use it well, and just when you flaunt it, that means you're actually showing others everything you have and you're living in luxury. Now, what are we supposed to do with lavish lifestyles? If Hashem gave us a lot, what does he want us to do with it? You have the money to buy cars, expensive cars, watches, real estate, go on many vacations, and you have the money to invest in a fancy home, maybe a number of them, and maybe you have a pool in your house, and maybe you have so much wealth that you just don't know what to do with. So what does Hashem want us to do with our wealth? And even if you don't have that much wealth, what do we do when we have these gifts in our lives? Maybe it's during sporadic times in our lives, when we have talents, gifts, occasions, when our children make us proud. What do we do when we live a flaunted life, when we have things to flaunt to others? We're going to learn what does the Torah want from us and living a flaunted life. It says in Devarim 2, a second stanza, third line, you have enough, circle the mountain and turn to the north. What does that passage say? The Kliyakar, whose name is actually Rabbi Shlomo Ephraim of Lunchitz, he lived during a time when the Jews enjoyed prosperity. He did not approve of the way that they lived, the way they approached wealth. He urged them to keep a low profile, not to show off, not to draw attention to themselves, not to live lavish lifestyles. And he supported Moshe Rabbeinu's words in his interpretation when Moshe told the Jewish people, you have enough, circle the mountain and turn to the north. Another hidden interpretation of the north means hidden, right? So it means you have enough, circle the mountain and turn to the hidden, meaning hide what you have. You have enough material things. Hide what you have. If you got it, you don't have to flaunt it. The Kliyakar also adds that Esav had an incredible memory. Whenever he saw that Yaakov was successful, Yaakov, his twin brother, and he was successful and he's prospered, he believed with all his heart that his success and blessings were due to the stealing of the blessings, that Yaakov stole his blessings, the blessings that Esav should have had. This is what Esav thought. Yaakov himself was already worried about this. So he was careful with how he had his wealth. And Yaakov was incredibly wealthy. Whenever famine struck all of the Middle East, everyone was forced to run to Egypt. And Egypt was the only place where large stockpiles of food existed. It was the only way to avoid staying famished, starving. Yaakov's pantry, however, was well stocked with food. He had so much food. And his family could have actually gone so long without actually making that trip to Egypt. Nonetheless, Yaakov sent his family to go and buy food. He said, Lama tizra'u? Why should you show off? In other words, according to Rashi, Yaakov was concerned about the children of Esav and Yishmael. Why should they see that you have plenty of food while they are starving? That would be a foolish thing to do. Now, our lives living in the United States is a liberal country. It is so tolerant, and we tend to forget this important lesson. We actually think we're living in freedom, but we are still in exile. We need to be careful how we live. We need to set an example to the world. If we have been blessed with prosperity, wealth, money, real estate, nice homes, cars, and clothing, there is no need to flaunt your wealth and your lifestyle. When we're flaunting our lifestyle, we're actually making other people very jealous, along with other hidden dangers, which I will continue to discuss. The Torah does not want us to show off our wealth. We have to use our wealth wisely to help the world, to help others. So if you have more, use it as a blessing. Use it to help others. Now that doesn't mean you don't enjoy your wealth. Yes, we're here to use it. If Hashem blessed with a person with wealth, use it and enjoy it. But what does that really mean? How do we use it and enjoy it? If you have more, you give more. You help more. You help others more. Use what you physically have to infuse it with spirituality. For example, if you have the opportunity to buy real estate, invest in shuls, synagogues, yeshivas, nursing homes. Help other people. If you have money, give it to those who are struggling, those families who are struggling, or organizations. If you have homes, your homes, your home can be tasteful, it can be pleasant, it can be beautiful. But how much of it are we just renovating our homes, reconstructing it to show that we are living lavish lives? How much are we showing off? We need to ask ourselves. Homes can be a place of spirituality where you're hosting Shabbat guests. You're having, on Shabbat, we can't drive back and forth home, so we're hosting them. We're having the guests sleep in our homes and stay there and enjoy. Or you can host lectures, shiurim. You can have speakers come, and this is how you can elevate your home as well. If you have cars and watches, nobody said, you don't need a nice car. Have a nice car. But why does it have to be so expensive? Why does it have to be so fancy? It really doesn't. Someone shared with me how they were out. They were out with a bunch of friends, and one of the friends it was a group of teenage boys, and one of the friends had a very fancy car. And the fancy car, one of the doors was broken. It was actually a Tesla. Yet, because it was such a fancy car, it was important that everyone go in the Tesla, because it sets a certain image, it's a certain experience, status. But it was funny because they couldn't even get through the door because the doors was broken. Yet they could have used another car, but it was a Tesla. So it's so important for us to realize that a car is a car. It goes from point A to point B. And living simple is the way to go. You want to have a nice car? Go ahead. But don't get lost in it, right? Don't make it your life. A watch is there for us to tell time. It says the same time as simple watches, as a Rolex watch. Why is it a standard that in certain communities that when a groom gets married, the girl side of the family, the in-laws must buy him a Rolex? Why is that so? It's a standard that we create in our society. It's a standard that actually causes stress and jealousy, and it's really unnecessary. And that money could be given to other people and help others. Talents. If a person is bestowed with a talent and given that, this is a gift from Hashem to help other people. You can use that talent to hurt others or to help others. So talents are also a form of wealth, a gift that we can use to help other people. There was an interesting story somebody shared with me that in Kansas, there was a doctor who drives a very simple car, and he was asked, why do you drive such a simple car? And he said that if I drive a fancy car, I'm going to stand out, because people in Kansas tend to live simple lives. But unfortunately, where I am in New York, and I'm sure in other states, people drive cars they can't even afford just to set a certain image. And this is what we need to think about. And as I've mentioned before, sometimes I walk around different neighborhoods, and I've noticed that neighbors often share similar type homes where if one decides to renovate, the other one has to renovate, make it just as fancy or even fancier, really unnecessarily. Unless you live in a fancy neighborhood or have a certain status where everybody's having luxurious and big homes. Is that really necessary to make your neighbor jealous? And that's not what the Torah wants. Flaunting wants others to feel, it makes others feel jealous, makes others become hateful towards you. They enable other people to feel unworthy, incapable, depressed, and lose real, meaningful relationships. In other words, in exchange, you'll create fake relationships where people want to know you in order to use you. So a practical tip I will share with you is try to not to live that flaunted life as much as you can. And it is a challenge because we do live in a materialistic world and we are all challenged in this. If you have it, flaunt it. No, the Torah wants us to be modest, to be humble, because if I have it, it's not mine. It's Hashem's. He gave it to me as a gift for me to use to serve Him and to help others. So don't flaunt your lifestyle on social media for everyone to see. You know, if you went on a vacation, if you have been given a beautiful gift, if your son became accepted to an amazing school, and you have attended this amazing event, why does everybody need to know? You know, maybe you want to create a group on your phone, just family only, and even that could make family jealous. So you have to see which people you want to share it with. Where are you going to actually just share your good news, share your wealth, share your gifts and talents, where it's going to be appreciated and people are going to be happy for you. And that's definitely a challenge. So we all must ask ourselves, how do I flaunt what I have? The best thing to do is to be modest about it and only share it with immediate family, some good news if you have to. And if you have a gift or a talent, or you have some good news, or you have wealth coming in, it's great to get into the habit of saying, Baruch Hashem, I am grateful for this gift. Because it's really Hashem who enabled this gift or this wealth or experience for me to have in the first place. Appreciating the insights of Rabbi Friend on the Parsha, Leah Abramov, Being a Becoming, awakening awareness of your greatness and potential.